Everybody will tell you in law, in trial work, in particular, things change and happen at a moment's notice. All of a sudden, overnight, Fanny Willis, who thought, I'm in the clear. I got nothing to worry about. I'm Fanny Willis. I got nothing to worry about. Now she faces, listen, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and a host of conspiracies. A host. Conspiracy to obstruct justice. Conspiracy to witness tamper. Conspiracy to, depending upon the statutes, impede or interfere with a grand jury investigation. A conspiracy to interfere or tamper with a grand jury witness. This happened yesterday. And let me tell you something. If you love legal stories, you got to love the facts. And what people don't tell you on these wonderful shows, and I don't mean to say anything about anybody else, God bless them, but they don't tell you what it means. They just tell you, hey, did you hear the latest? There's this Yeager lady. She's a DA from Cobb County, or an assistant, and she overheard. No. What does that mean? Tell me what that means. Yes, that happened. But what does it mean? Why should I get excited? Oh, you should be real excited. Oh, absolutely. If you thought like Jack Smith, if you had that killer instinct, by the way, his case, that's another one too. We'll get into that. I don't want to give you too much, but there's a Supreme Court case that could really spell curtains for another one of Trump's case. This is why when you say, okay, let's go to trial, you never know what's going to happen. But let me go back to what I'm saying this. Fanny Willis doesn't understand what she's doing. She feels bulletproof. She feels that she, by virtue of her position, has nothing to worry about. She has nothing to worry about. Nothing. She is one of the people that's just, I'm just blessed. And because I am the district attorney for Fulton County, I can do whatever I want. Not to mention, she and her others have worked hand in hand with the Democrats. And you know, and I know, they promised her the moon. You know, and I know, they promised her the moon. There used to be an expression years ago when I was in politics right after college. And there was this, I worked for a U.S. senator, and we would go to local places. And I saw this. There was an expression, take them to the mountain. And take them to the mountain meant, in essence, we're going to show them and give them a view of what their history. This is what Trump's not doing when it comes to the voters, but you give them an idea of this is where you're going. Judge Fanny Willis, federal judge Fanny Willis, Attorney General, Governor Fanny Willis, and you do this. You sit and you just. And you sit in a room, and she's got people around her with suits on from DC, and she and I think Nathan come to Washington, meet with our team. You're going places. This will make your father proud. Take him to the mountains. See where you go. Do you see what you're looking at? Fanny, do you understand what this is about? Do you understand? And she feels like, don't you understand? I know the president. Here, see this card? This is from the White House. I have his cell phone number. I know this. Here's a picture of me with this and that. I'm perfect. I'm Fanny Willis. You don't understand. Tish James, move over. Jack Smith, move over. Fanny Willis is here. This is what you've got to understand. This is the thing you've got to get. You understand the people and the thoughts and the motivations and who's scared and who feels beleaguered when the federal government goes after somebody to get the latest Sammy the Bull, the latest rat. They always have to find out specifically what is it for them. How are they feeling? What are they feeling about? Do they feel left out? Do they feel this is what you want? So she is an egomaniac. And now you have operatives. And let me also tell you something. When that hits the fan, it just imagine the weasels and bugs and rats just running. Did you ever step on an anthill? And if you're from the South, you remember a fire ant. You just, God, they come out of nowhere. Just a minute ago, it was clear. Just a minute ago, it was calm. You barely even notice it. A little dirt. Next thing you know, these things are, and they're coming out of nowhere. Why? 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 They smell blood. They smell blood. Something happens to these people, something avaricious, something predatory, something that's weird, something that comes out of nowhere, something that they just smell blood. Politics is blood. And they smell blood. And let me tell you right now, if I were Fanny has got, don't give me that Fanny crap. Fanny has got to have her own counsel. Fanny has got to have her own counsel. And guess what? Do you know why she's going to be eliminated? Guess. Do you know why she is going to have her case? Basically, she's going to be disqualified or DQ'd in her office. Do you know why? Guess. Take a guess. Take a guess. I know what you're going to say, but take a guess. Why do you think so? Oh, she's gone now. It's done. Why do you think? She's too expensive to keep around? Very good. You're getting close. You're getting close. Why do you think? What's the reason for this? What's the legal reason? Simple. The reason why she's got to sit down is she has become a target. She has become a target. You're a target. Mr. Wade is a target. Mr. Bradley is a target. The office is now in the crosshairs. The office is unable to proceed not only with this one. Let me go a step further. Listen to me carefully. Not only this one. Oh, I got a good one for you. Hang on a minute. Brian Kemp, Republican governor, Brian Kemp can disqualify her. Did you hear what I just said? She's disqualified, suspended, pending the investigation of what's going on. I see it. I see it coming. This morning it's going to rain. I'll tell you right where to look. You want to see if it's going to rain in the city? I'll tell you right where to look. You look at Jersey, point down here, look down there. That's where it always comes from. Never comes from the north. It comes from here. Now, it's not raining here now. It's not raining. It's but that's where it's coming from. And it's going to be raining in Fulton County. Because what's happening is that they're going to say the following. First, once you don't understand something, politics, they don't give a damn who this woman is. She's nothing. She's the target. Get her. They love to get her. Whether you're OJ, whether you're let me give you parentheses. Stop right now. We're not going to do this now. But what I'm hearing that's going on in the UK regarding Kate and Will and Kate will blow your mind. I'm not going to bring it up now. I'm not going to bring it up to you. But once they smell blood, that's it. Now remember, Kemp is a weakling. We'll see. No, Sparky. Oh, he might very well be. Oh, no. Wait until the Republican Party. See, let me see if we can explain the moving parts here. Number one, let's go through the facts of the case, shall we? You better sit back and enjoy this. The facts of the case. So, defense lawyers in this, quote, election interference case, it's a racketeering case. Definitely interference. You know what they're doing? They say that they want to put someone on the stand whose testimony could back up the allegations and the assertions made that Terence Bradley, who was a witness, who is the best. He's the best. He is the best. Now listen to me carefully. A witness could help to disqualify. The new information comes from Cindy Lee Yeager. This is a deputy district attorney in neighboring Cobb County. Okay. Now this is even interesting. She's Cobb County. Now, Cobb County, she says later on, I think she ran as a Republican, but she is a Democrat. I don't know what the hell is going on. But listen to this one. Somebody got to her. All she had to do was say, I don't know anything about this. At issue right now, as you know, in fact, they spoke with her regarding conversations she had with Bradley, right? So Cindy Lee Yeager. This is a assistant district attorney. Or I don't know if she still is now, but well, still is in Cobb County, not Fulton County, Cobb County. And the defense lawyer said, yeah, we spoke to her on Friday when all this stuff happened. Now, at issue, and by the way, there's other stuff too. You're going to be hearing witnesses come forth that say that Mr. Terence Bradley did in fact speak with Wade, that they went out to eat and they were seen, and that would be collateral impeachment. Not critical, but it shows you he basically is a liar. At issue, as you know, is a very, very interesting thing, which let me explain to you. It's theoretically what the important issue is, but it's not the real issue. The issue is not whether disqualification by virtue of their having a romance. The issue is, did she lie? Now, the timing of this romance, and by the way, stop calling this romantic relationship. Believe me when I tell you this. It's the sex part. Don't kid yourself. If they were madly in love, but were both, let's say, still married to their spouses, still involved in other relationships, that relationship could be stronger than any sexual relationship. But that's not what they're talking about, because that's not the way we think. Because America is so incredibly unsophisticated. All you do is you think of sex and that's it. It doesn't matter. So the timing apparently is important, because the timing of the relationship between Fanny and Mr. Wade, Nathan Wade. Okay. Now, Fanny and Nathan have said repeatedly under oath that a romantic relationship didn't develop between them until after she hired him in November of 2021. But defense lawyers are saying, no, that's not true. Now, why is that important? First, to show she's a liar. Not that disqualifies you, because I respectfully submit, and I've told you before, it does not disqualify. It does not disqualify you per se. I'm sorry, it doesn't. The lying does. And now, potential obstruction of justice, witness tampering. We'll get to this in a moment. So if they're correct, this is a theory, Willis hired a boyfriend, a lover, for this lucrative, high-profile job, the big bucks money, and it might it might lead to, it might, um, encourage and support the idea that she dealt in, what's been called by others as self-dealing when she took a number of vacations. Okay, I still say that's not even the most important part. That's not even the most important part. The defense lawyers thought that Bradley, this is the best part, a former law partner of Wayne, who also served for a time as his quote defense lawyer, but not really because he was basically signing the pleadings. Wade would pretty much do the pleading himself, and then Bradley would sign it. But they thought that he would add some clarity. They said, well, of course he's going to take the stand. He's going to take the stand. He's going to testify before the judge and the world of what he knew. That their relationship happened before November 2021, that they knew it. He saw it. Everybody knew it. There's a text to her and Ashley Merchant, to him rather than Ashley Merchant, saying, no, absolutely. So this is it. Absolutely. But when they called him to the stand, he said, well, I'm speculating. Okay, this is great. This is what I said. Okay, here we go. Now we're off to the races. It's not about it's about the lying and the prevarication. So what happened was, this is interesting. There was a filing yesterday from lawyers for a David Schaefer, who was one of the co-defendants in the case. And they said that they spoke to Ms. Yeager, who said that Bradley had told her, listen to this, that prosecutors' relationship began before Wade went to work. This filing, this motion, this particular not pleading, but this filing said that according to Yeager, and this is important. Cindy Lee Yeager, that according to Cindy Lee, it gets even better. This is important. That, let me see where we go. Yes, that according to Cindy Lee, she also overheard. Now, I don't know how this happens. If they're talking on the phone, if they're doing one of those things, I have no idea. Nobody that uses headphones anymore. Anyway, but she overheard on the phone Fanny call Terence last September. And apparently after she saw some news articles that mentioned that her office was now paying Wayne and his law partners. And what's happening is, this is the most important. Quote, this is what Yeager heard her say. Now, I know what you're going to say in a moment. You're going to say hearsay. It's not hearsay. I'll tell you what. Quote, they are coming after us. This is what Fanny told Terence. They are coming after us. Okay? They're coming after us. You don't need to talk to them about anything about us. Now, what they've been trying to say, and others say, the context of it, the circumstances regarding the call, it's kind of unclear. It doesn't really matter. She's going to take this stand. Now, what you're thinking is, I know, you're saying, oh, this has got to be hearsay. Jerry Prather, by the way, new member, welcome, Jerry. You're going to say, this is hearsay. Nope. Wait a minute, it's not hearsay? Nope. I can get around that one. Anybody can get around that one. Wait a minute. You're going to take the stand. Cindy Yeager is going to take the stand, and she's going to say, what? What is she going to say? I heard Mr. Bradley, Terry. I heard Terry. He was on the phone with Fanny. And I recognized, you got to lay the predicate. I recognize Fanny's voice. Well, how do you know it was Fanny? Because he kept referring to her. She identified. He showed me the number. Blah, 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 blah. You've got to lay the predicate. You've got to at least be able to say, yeah, I know her voice. I know who it is. I heard her. I mean, just because you hear a conversation, yeah, she was talking to Joe Biden. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. No, so she has to provide that. So it's an out-of-court statement, right? Wasn't in court. And she says, I heard him say this. I heard her say. The reason why it's not hearsay, is to ask the question, why are you introducing this statement? Do you want this statement to be true? Remember, hearsay is an out-of-court statement that is being offered to use the proof of the matter asserted. What does that mean? Do you care whether the statement is true? No. No. Doesn't matter at all. I just want you to tell me what she said just to prove she said it. That's it. I heard him say on the phone, you better bring the money or I will kill the witness. Why are you offering that? To prove that a threat was made. Do you care whether the statement is true? No. I don't care what. I'm not offering it for its truth. I'm not offering it for it to be true. I just want to say that it was said. So now you have this guy, Mr. Bradley, and you know and I know. And here's the best part. They're making deals with him. Kemp is already, they're going to disqualify the judge. They're going to say, you have so compromised this. I'm hearing, believe me. And to show you how bloodthirsty the Democrats are, they're most probably telling Kemp and telling others from the Justice Department, you better get rid of her because we don't need a case to fall apart, because the public has this perception that if the case falls apart here, the case, then everything kind of falls apart. It's like they're going to think, well, then everything's terrible. By the way, the suppression, the Washington case of insurrection, that's probably going to go bye-bye from another case, which is another story. So you've got this lousy, so far, what have they got so far? Well, you've got you've got this New York civil case, but people say, no, that's money. You've got this case in New York happening regarding this checks and whatever. That's no good. This was the biggest case there is. And the Democrats are furious. They're furious. This was our time. Sparky says, small world, knew Schaefer a little. He was a couple of grades behind me in high school. I haven't heard from him since, but I don't know. He worked his way up the state Republican Party. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, Sparky, what's going to happen now? Imagine these people. We're going to have all these. Just imagine these. We're on a table and I have shot glasses and I invert them. And I say, okay, here we go. Here's Fanny. Fanny's over here. She's freaking out. She doesn't know what to do. And she's also stupid. She's so stupid. She doesn't know the first thing about the law, about really getting herself. She doesn't put layers. She doesn't have a Luca Brasi. She doesn't have a team to do all the investigation. No, she's the kind who'll pick up the phone because she's Fanny and get directly involved in it. So she's freaking out. That's number one. Number two, we got other people here. There are people in her office who hate her. Yurdi can't stand her. The other woman who we heard when she said, you can't do this. This is a public grant. This is a federal grant for kids and blah, 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 and kids. And, and she says, I don't care. She basically said, think about what you're saying. I mean, this is, you can hear the corruption. You can hear it in Fanny. Fanny doesn't care about anything. She just doesn't care. She doesn't know what she is. She couldn't tell you the first thing about what she was doing. She couldn't tell you the first thing. To her, it's like Tiffany Henyard. It's her play toy. This is her office. She's here to be Fanny. I don't know what it means to be a prosecutor. I don't understand this stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. So she's over here, and you got these other people from the office who would love to see her just go down because they have been overstepped. And you know that this boorish, rude, one of the people yesterday said bratty. She's bratty. That's probably one of the best words ever. She's a brat. I don't want to use the B word, but you know what I'm saying. Okay? Remember, if a man is a B, he's an arsehole. If a woman is in cloaca like this, that she's a beast. We have these words. We have these designations for really nasty people. Okay, you've got that. Now, here's a guy I'm going to be going after. Give me Bradley. Give me Bradley, and let me sit him down. Let me come in. I'm going to be good cop and bad cop. Mr. Bradley, do you have a lawyer? What? That's the first one. You better lawyer up. And by the way, get somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. Because there's no, you are in this so deep because of your own stupidity that the stupidity is the only thing available. Now, let me give me a quick timeout. I have not, in my career, ever come across insanity where we could get somebody off because of it's very rarely competence, maybe sometimes drug addiction or something, but that's it. I had a case one time where I had this kid who was I think one of the stupidest people I've ever met. Seriously. He wasn't, I didn't have any testing, but he was illiterate. He was illiterate, and he actually signed a plea agreement. I didn't read it. And I did a motion to withdraw the plea. And the judge says, what? And you never, ever look at this right here. Here we have Christian Janis. Hello from India. Hello, dear Christian. Welcome, sir. Welcome. There's nothing better than a wonderful than a wonderful super chat from a denomination you're not familiar with. You say, "Oh, I got 75,000 Filipino Deutschmark." I don't know what that is. Anyway, thank you, sir. So, the case I had was the judge says, "I'm not going to withdraw a plea." Because if I let one guy say, "You know what, I changed my mind. You know what?" I said, "Well, I think we have a good reason. Why? May I approach the bench?" I said, "He's stupid." He said, "What?" I said, "He's stupid. I'm telling you. You don't understand. He's stupid." "What do you mean he's stupid?" I said, "Well, look at him." And I said, "So help me God. So help me God." We're like this. I went like this. The judge kind of looks up like that. Prosecutor looked at me and says, "Oh, I see what you mean." I said, "He signed the plea agreement because he didn't want to admit to anybody he couldn't read. He signed a confession." "What?" He said, "Yeah." Okay. I think I'm the only person ever to be successful in the stupid defense. I swear to God. I say, "Why?" He said, "I don't know." I mean, I said, you're signing? Anyway. So stupid is really more of a problem than you can imagine. Sparky says, kind of got the idea that Schaefer was very pro-Trump, but the state Republican Party was run by globalists, such as Chris Wray and his boy, Kemp, and they pushed David Schaefer around. How do I say this? And this is very important. This is very, 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 very important. Sparky, as you know, and you have been in the military on our side, and we thank you for your service. I always say, whenever somebody says, I was in the military on our side, yeah. I think that's the funniest joke. I'm sorry. Anyway, or the fanniest joke. As you know, Sparky, and as you know, dear friends, every organization is filled with scheming, sniveling, backstabbing bastards and bastardettes who are absolutely the worst. Look at this. NC November Girl, the best live stream ever. You made my day. Thank you for this. That made my day. Because I think we have the best there is, because I'm talking to you like we're sitting in a room, like we're just talking together, where we're not, you know what I mean? I'm not pontificating. I'm telling you, this is what it means. So anyway, going back to this, as you know, there are all these people. Going back to my analogy, we've got Kemp. Kemp says, now listen, Kemp, you want to do something right? Thank God Ronald McDaniel's out of the picture. If you had a real Republican Party, they would be on the phone. Nobody would tell Governor Kemp anything. All of a sudden, I come in there And I'm the head of the Republican Party. And I come in and I never, because I'm figuring I'm wired for sound. They're wiring this room. I'm going to walk in and say, Brian, is there anything we can do for you? By the way, you're doing a tremendous job. And you are making us all very, very proud. You're going places, Brian. You are going places, my friend. Really? Yep. You are going places. Indeed. Well, listen, got to run. Well, what did that mean? That told him, you're doing a good job. Continue to do a good job. Do the right thing and suspend her. Why? Let me keep going. I get Bradley. I sit him down there. Do you have your lawyer here? Your present? Good. Put it on the record. Counsel's present. Mr. Bradley's here. So, Bradley, I want you to understand something. I've got no beef against you. I just want you to understand that it's nothing personal. But I will make you and turn you into a grease spot if I have to do what's right. And I'm going to go after Fani Willis because she is a disgrace to the Constitution, to the great people of the state of Georgia, to the great people of Fulton County, to the institute of the office of what it means. Now listen, I need 900 likes. You hear what I'm saying? Now is the dead mother here? Is Lizzie here? Lizzie S. Don't let me turn Liz Solak on you. You do not want that. But I need this from you right now. Because if you really like this live stream, that's what we need. That's all YouTube lives on likes. That's all they eat. They eat this. You give them likes and they say, okay. And we spread the word. Because what I'm telling you right now is this is not necessarily just about, hey, let's help Trump. This is about the law. This is about the Constitution. This is about this thing that I keep pointing this out to you, my friends. This is it. And by the way, you notice this. This is important. By the way, I like that. Liz, keep an eye on the likes for me, Lizzie. Believe me, you do not want her. You do not want to make her mad like David Banner. Remember that, the Hulk? You see what I've got here? This is my Constitution. And by the way, it's so great. It's signed by a dear friend of mine, Saul Walkler. You know who Saul Walkler is? Saul Walkler is the man, the judge, who came up with the notion or the idea that said, the aphorism that said, a good prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich. That was Saul Walkler. He's a proud Jewish man, too. He said, I could have made it a corned beef or what. Anyway, but on the back of mine, these are all my stickers. And I still have other stickers I don't have room for. Every time I go vote, I keep my I voted stickers because to me, voting is the most important thing in the world. Voting. I keep telling you, it's the most powerful thing I've got. It's the most powerful thing in the world. Anything that gets in the way of this, I get very, very territorial. So somebody needs to tell Mr. Bradley, understand something, sir. And this is where you get really good. This is where you get really good. And remember, I am telling you this. Remember this in your life. Remember this piece of, I mean to tell you this. Remember what I'm telling you. Always tell people and recognize, be empathic, know what they're thinking. If you're at some store, you're at the mall, you're at Nordstrom Rack or whatever it is, and you got to return something and you're in a great, you walk up to that return section and you look at that woman, you realize she is living, this is a sentence. And you walk in and you say, how are you today? And you say, like, you're the nicest guy in the world. I'll bet you have heard every crazy story. Oh, I know. Well, I hope my situation, maybe you can help me. I know you can help me. And now she wants to help you. And she'll do whatever she wants. You're empathic with her. By the way, the best pickup line I ever heard, was on Cheers. And somebody, was it Norm? I think it was Norm, I guess, turned to a woman and said, I'll bet you've heard every 2-bit cheesy, corny line in the world. Yeah. Well, one more is not going to kill you. I thought that was brilliant. Okay. So here's what you do. You sit down with Bradley and you say, let me explain something to you. You didn't want to get yourself into this. You're an honest man from a good family. And all you want to do is you want to be a lawyer. And we know, and you have a fine reputation, whether it's true or not. You have a fine reputation. And people always said you're a straight shooter, and you tell people what they want to hear. Because there's a butt coming. There's a butt. I smell a butt. And that's what you're going on. And you walked into this, and we know this, Mr. Brown. You walked into this thing innocently. You had no idea to subvert justice. But you walked into two of the most corrupt people in the world who thought that they were above the law. And you were just being a friend, a litigator. When you're a lawyer, you can do a lot of things that to the untrained eye may look kind of shady, but they're not at all. There's nothing illegal in this. You understand that you had the chance here to move in and to be in the accompaniment of the district attorney for Fulton County. Do you know how many people kiss their arse all the time on a regular basis? There's nothing you did wrong. And then all of a sudden, it became critical during the course of your representation of Mr. Wade, and you're having worked with him at the same law office, then things got bad. Isn't it interesting, the allegation of sexual misadventure against you, Mr. Bradley? Isn't that? Well, I'm not buying it. Now, you know what I just did? I just lied. I am buying it. But I'm telling him, I'm lying to him. I want him to think I'm his friend. Let's say I'm from the GBI or the DOJ or something, but I'm the heat. I'm the lawyer cops. And I'm going to sit with him, and I'm thinking, he's going to say, you understand? Of course I understand. Of course I understand. Because they saw something in you. You know what they did, Mr. Bradley? They saw you. They sensed they think you're weak. This is where they go. You know why? Because he's a kind of a fat, roly-poly guy, and I'll bet you anything in his life, they slapped him around, and he just wants to be he wants to be important, and he wants to be respected. And he doesn't want to have his reputation sullied. And he's trying to do a good job. He's an honest man. And his crime was knowing these two people. See what I'm doing? Am I lying? Damn right I'm lying. But it's not a lie that's important. I'm bullshitting him. Pardon my French. It's exactly what I'm doing. So now I'm loosening him up. He's my pal. He's my pal. Everything's great. So what's the problem? And this is the problem. But unfortunately, Mr. Bradley, you did something that was really, well, it's viewed by some to be stupid. What you decided to do was you came along and you showed, and I don't know why you did this. And I got to tell you something right now. By the way, 800, 900 likes. I don't know why you did it, sir. I will never tell you to do this. But what in the name of God were you doing talking to Ashley Merchant for? What were you doing? Mike Roman's lawyer? What were you doing? And I'm glad your lawyer's here. What were you doing? What was this about? What were you after? They'll kill you for this. You immediately looked to them like a rat, like you were some kind of what are you doing? And now you're with Cindy Lee Yeager? What was she in the room with you? She's from Cobb County. What do you go from DA to DA? Insinuating, saying, listen to this. Did she, and I don't know the circumstances. Maybe you do. Did she overhear it? Did he have the speakerphone on? I have no idea. You're friends with Wade. You're friends with Willis. You're friends with this one. You're all over the place. And then what you did, which is the most incredible. I don't know whether you know this, Mr. Bradley, but Ashley Merchant is top drawer. She's going places. You wanna, let me tell you something, you want to hitch your wagon on that. She's incredible. She's a great lawyer. No doubt about that at all. And she is just absolutely, they laughed at her when she came up. So here you are. 1 minute you're telling her, don't worry. Absolutely. Then you say, I was speculating. So you look like a liar. And you do this under oath. You do it on depositions. You're talking to her. And now we have Cindy Lee Yeager. I don't know what her story is. First of all, wait a minute. What? She says, well, I'm a Republican, but I ran as a Democrat. I don't know what the hell's going on. This Georgia politics is the weirdest. They change their minds. Can't be worse. Listen to me carefully. Before we begin, the worst party, listen to me, just a side note, parenthetical, in the United States is the New York Republican Party. The worst. And the worst of the worst is the New York City Republican Party. It's the worst. Idiots, non-existent. I don't know what the hell. Why they even bother? It's like, what are you bothering for? Anyway, I had to give that my own little 2 cents, as it were. Okay. So here's what we do. Now, Mr. Bradley, good news. Is there any good news? Yes, there is, sir. We have completely abandoned this attack of having her disqualified because of the fact that she hired her paramour. We're done with that. That's over. That doesn't make any sense. We don't care about that anymore. That's boring. Is it? That's boring. We're going to tell you something different. We're taking a new tack, sir. A new one. You are? Oh, yes. And I want you to listen to one thing that may or may not seem to you to be important, but is critical to me, Mr. Bradley. What's that? My Pillow. What? My Pillow. My Pillow. You mean the company? Yes. What about My Pillow? Well, listen. Well, it is time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, please listen. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Literally name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And they're monster sellers. Slippers. My slippers. That's right. Slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. Now here's the link. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com /Solidus or Virgil /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike answers the phone. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. Now, what I'd like to do that nobody would ever, theoretically, I'd like to do. I'd like to see that President Trump get briefed on this, because what he is seeing is so unbelievable. It's hard to even imagine this could ever happen. And the luck that this man has, believe it or not, the luck that this man has. Sparky says, in Georgia, it's open. You don't register as a Republican or Democrat, so the label isn't as carved in granite or meaningful as many other states. Excellent. Well, Sparky, you're going to be our Georgia expert in this. Raul Rodriguez says, can Bradley ever gain his credibility? Of course. In the United States? Of course. People have the attention span of a gnat. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What happens when you find yourself in the position of being a drug addict and you go on tour telling people don't do what I did. Don't do, be careful. Don't lure yourself in. But going back, Raul, but that's a good question. And Sparky, what I would do is I would tell him, Mr. Bradley, don't worry about this. We've taken a new tack now completely. Mr. Bradley, let me ask you a question. When you spoke to her, by the way, you're not refuting this, are you? You're not refuting Cindy Lee Yeager, are you? Oh, no. You sure now? Oh, absolutely. Because you change your mind. And you understand that if you change your mind, I personally will see to it that you never walk again. You do understand that, right? You're not going to change your mind. Because you've changed your mind. You talked to Ashley Merchant. You said, well, absolutely. And then you said, I don't know anything about it. You're not going to do that, are you? You're not going to do that, correct? No. Good. I didn't think you were going to do that. I didn't think you were that stupid. But Mr. Bradley, let me ask you a question. Did she say they are coming after us? Yeah. What did that mean to you? They're coming after us? Did you think to yourself, us? What did I do? See what she's doing? She's pulling you in. Oh, yeah, you're involved in this too. You lied. You lied for me. Now they're going to come after us. Us? Us? Wait a minute. That's right. You think she's going to save you? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And then she said to you, very carefully, listen to me, quote, you don't need to talk to them about anything about us. She's doing it again. You don't need to talk to them about anything. Mr. Bradley, what did you feel when she said that? I felt scared. You better believe it. Godspeed to George Galloway. Wish the U.S. had politicians like him. Yes, indeed. But let me also tell you something. Let me just say this very, very quickly about that, Sparky. Tell him to tone it down. Okay? Let me just say something parenthetically here. Tone it down. Did you see AOC? They're trying to get her to say genocide. God, man. Use word like genocide and Nazis? No. That ain't going to work. You're not going to get anybody to listen to you. If that's what you're saying, if that's you have just sold out the people you purportedly are trying to protect. Lori Cook says, morning. Did you see Mayor Tiff at town hall? Oh no. Lori, Tiffany Henyard. I'm telling you right now, she is still the greatest thing anybody has ever. Over the weekend, I showed a friend of mine. I said, let me show you something. I said, you know who Tiffany Henyard is? I said, she's the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. And I had a iPad. I said, look at her. And they looked at me and said, who's that? I said, that's the mayor. That's the mayor? Oh, they're going after her hard times. Weird objects and antiques. Thank you so much. I would walk into that store immediately. Weird objects and antiques. I'm there. That's the best title. Thank you. Now, let's go back to our friend here. Did that make you worry, Mr. Right? Oh, yes. Did you feel threatened? Oh, yes. Good. I need 800 likes. Good. Obstruction of justice. This is the district attorney. Now, by the way, there's some other stories too. Bradley is one inconsistent. You know what I would do? Remember, how are they going to impeach him? I recall reading, correct me if I'm wrong, where Mr. Bradley said something to the effect of, I never talked to Fanny. We never talked on the phone, or she hadn't called me on the phone. Something like that. Something that sounded remotely similar to, I don't talk to her on the phone, or whatever it is. Now, do you understand? But the first thing, excuse me, you're saying you talked to her on the phone, but before you said you didn't talk to her on the phone. Are you lying then, or are you lying now? What's it going to be? You are one inconsistent statement, are you not? Sparky says, tone it down, get a clue line, or the world is in trouble. No, Sparky. If you want to, and this is something you perhaps do not agree with me about, and Lori, by the way, says everyone showed their butts. That's true. If you go out, and I'm trying to tell you this, and you are trying to get people on your side, and you're trying to convince people by using the word Nazi, you've lost. Now, you may think it's great, and you may say, that is terrific. That is our side. That is exactly. You just turn, more people say, this guy's out of his mind. He's crazy. They won't even listen to you. You can say the same thing and tone down the rhetoric. And if I got to explain that to you, there's no hope for any of us. See, that's what people do. People just say whatever they want. They just say stuff that they think that, well, what I say to Max Blumenthal is going to work with somebody else. No, absolutely not. So again, you're never going to understand because you believe that, well, if I'm right, I don't have any interest in persuading anybody. That's not the way I think. I want to persuade you. And I'm never going to use words. Take this Fani Willis. I'm never going to talk about race. Never going to talk about race. Race has nothing to do with this. I'm never going to bring up race, even though there are pockets of people in Georgia who think nothing about that. To me, it's all about race. It's a proud black woman who's being, yeah. I don't bring that up because I just turn people off. Lori, there you go, Lori. Thank you. This is nothing about race. Nothing. There was a great one of the summations I heard who brought that up. But see, Fani Willis, she lives by that. Lives by this. Lives by this. How do I say this? This credo of I can say whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. Well, not really. So going back to Mr. Bradley, he felt nervous. He felt like, I got to watch what I'm doing. I've got the district attorney saying they're after us. You don't have to say this. Parentheses, don't say anything. And that's it right there. Obstruction of justice, witness tampering, maybe. Who knows? I mean, who? This is an investigation. It is currently before the court. It is now. She should have removed herself from this. She has become part of the prosecution. She has become part of it. It rarely happens. Never. That's what she should have done. That's how she's going to be disqualified. That's it. Very simple. A district attorney, this office, cannot further prosecute a case where it has become the issue. It has become the focal point of the world. Do you understand this? Now, what I told you, which is so important, what I told you just now, people would say, that makes sense. For purposes of this now, she is unable to go in and to remain at arm's distance, at arm's length. Sparky says, did the Zionists get on you or did they leave you alone? Maybe you're just in a bubble. Hope that's all. Sparky, first of all, I appreciate, I really do, your zeal and your verve. I really do. The way you spell words to get the word in right, and you're gonna say it because I'm gonna say it. And nobody's gonna tell me that I can't say Zionist. I'm gonna change the word, and I'm gonna show you because God damn it, and I appreciate this. But you are doing more to turn people off. Because you're sounding sometimes, not you, but in this, that's not going to win. That's not going to win. It's never going to win. I would say, very frankly, I have said repeatedly, I know we're changing the subject, I want this killing to stop. This is mayhem. Under the rules of the Genocide Convention. You can read it. This is genocide under the rules, not under common parlance, not what people think. That's not the word they use. Ethnic cleansing, these are words. Apartheid, those are rough words. But if you read the real definitions, yes. But I don't want to read the real definitions. I want people to feel in my heart. And when I see idiots, and I know people don't like this, who say, we represent the Palestinians, who are scaring New Yorkers, closing things down, guess what? You're not winning anybody over. You're not winning anybody over at all. And if I got to explain that to you, see, that's the part. The first thing is you want people to feel sorry for you. You want people to listen to you, not to hate the cause because they hate you, because you're loud and rude. And you love to scare people, and you love to shock people, and you love to use the very words which keep them from your side. When all you have to do is tell people what happened. Tone it down. I've never heard anybody who said, just show pictures. Say, you tell me what this is. That's all. Going back to Fani Willis, this isn't about race. Look what's happening. It's about telling the truth. It's about telling the truth. That's all this is about. It's about telling the truth. Sparky says it's not 1988 AM talk radio any longer. Those rules no longer apply. This is bizarre. Sparky, you might want to I'm just saying, and I appreciate your excitement, but we're not talking about this. I know it's very easy to be secreted in your world and say, I'm over here. I'm safe. I don't have to worry about convincing anybody. I don't have to worry about anybody. I don't have to worry about convincing anybody about anything. I can say whatever I want and they'll come along. And if they don't, well, they're just living in the past because it's a new world. Yeah. Well, I don't want somebody like that in my group if I'm trying to convince them to change the way people are thinking. You know, one of the things which is so interesting, by the way, and whether it's Fanny Willis or anybody else for that matter, if you believe, for example, in something like gender identity, gender neutrality, you don't bring a drag queen out. That's not the way you do it. You don't say, well, these are different. These are new times. Sorry, this isn't 1988. This isn't, PM magazine. This is the way it is right now. Like it or not, that's the way we do it. Screw you. Okay, good. You lost your. But you're right. You're right. But nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody. Biden and Kamala say they want the killing to stop too. Okay. Now listen, with all due respect, and I love this, Sparky, but do me a favor. And I love this, but I'm talking about Fanny, and we are. It's about public trust. The hell? Yes. So just for whatever it's worth, and I appreciate this, but I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about the subject. Fani Willis faces obstruction of justice and witness tampering allegation. That's what I want to talk about. We'll talk about this later on. That's all. But right now, people are saying, "Why are we talking about?" I didn't come here to talk about. I mean, that's important, but I don't want to talk about, the Hunter Biden. That's an important case too. But we're not talking about Hunter Biden. Not that it's not an important case, but okay. So with all due respect, I'm going to keep talking about Fanny Willis with all due respect. And I think you can understand it. But do me a favor. Remember, you're never going to be persuasive if people don't like you. People don't like what you're saying. Now, right now, going back to Fanny, does anybody here think for a moment that people like Fanny? No. President Trump the other day very wisely, very, very wisely said that, or brought up the fact, and he did it in a way that was a little, but it's okay. I told you that this is the most important because everybody is watching this case, and it's self-explanatory, and you don't even have to tell anybody. All I would do is ask the American people, listen very carefully to Mr. Bradley. Listen very carefully to Mr. Bradley. Listen to what she said. They're after us. You don't have to tell them about us. Remember Tracy Ullman? They don't know about us. How do you think the average person, what do you think they think about this? What do you think they think about this? Tell me. What do you think? When somebody hears this, do they say, this is a threat? This is a threat. I need 900 likes, my friends. Need 900 likes. Why? Because that's the way they do it. And you don't even have to spell things funny, too, by the way. You just speak your mind. Now, listen to me carefully. You've got Yeager in here. You've got this legal team that's coming. And think about all of, and what they're doing right now is more and more people, they're offering deals, not deals as far as tampering, but deals involving, how do I say this? Deals involving, well, they're trying like misdemeanors, things like that. So the people think about Sidney Powell, who already pled. She's out of it. Jenna Ellis, she was a real work, wasn't she? They already pled guilty. They're out of it completely. If this is disqualified, their case is disqualified. Lori says Bradley Schaefer's office. Well, Bradley at Schaefer's office when Fanny called? Question mark. Well, I remember again. I don't know, and it's the phone. It's the. Do you know how silly it is to be doing this? Who is this? Sherry says, you are my new favorite. Love listening to your shows. Sherry, thank you. I appreciate that. See, we don't know about it. We need to know about the specifics of this. You understand this? This is the thing which is the most important thing to understand. This is the most important thing to grasp. And listen to me very carefully. How is this being perceived? How is this being perceived? Now, what is Fanny's defense? What is Fanny's defense? How do you defend it? I don't know. Fanny's defense is going to be, look, this may be wrong or whatever, and I'm not going to argue or comment on my particular thing. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that I am not disqualified by virtue of any relationship. And no, I certainly did not threaten anybody. That's the angle. That's where to go. Not the other one. That's the angle. The angle specifically, what is the most critical? What is the most absolute critical angle now is this change. This change from obstruction of justice, perhaps, witness tampering, and somebody's going to get. And remember, Fanny is going to be saying, has he lawyered up? Is anybody making a deal? Who's coming in? Fanny has to have either the Department of Justice or the GBI or some other group coming in to say, we're taking this case away from you. And we're going to read the Miranda warnings to you because this is the most important. This is critical. We're reading you the warnings. You might want to sit down. You think about this. Judge McAfee may say, out of an abundance of caution, we can't even testify or bring you back into court because there's an active investigation. And by virtue of the fact that you have to argue between your own Fifth Amendment rights and pursuing the prosecution, you are per se invalid, or how do I say this? You are per se unable. You are per se disqualified. Per se, by virtue of the fact that this new situation has come out. Now, Bradley, wait till they put him on the stand and they run him through the ringer. Mr. Bradley, you said this, then you said this, then you said this, then you said this, then you said you never talked to Fanny, and then now they say you talked to her on the phone. You said you haven't talked to David Wade in months or years or whatever, and then we have a waiter or somebody who saw you in a restaurant. You say this, then you told Ashley Merchant that absolutely you have a case. Absolutely. Then you say, well, I'm only speculating. So I don't know what to believe. But all that's over here. That's why we have Ms. Yeager, Cindy Lee Yeager. Did you hear this? Yes. Do you recognize this voice? Whose voice was it? Well, it was Fanny Willis. Why? Well, let's assume. I don't know. Mr. Bradley had the phone and said Fanny Willis, and she identified herself. This is District Attorney Willis or Fanny Willis, and I know her voice. I've heard her a million times. That's her. To authenticate it, it's absolutely. This is the most important thing in the world. This is the issue. This is the issue. This is important. Here's an interesting question. Sparky asks, are Fanny and her issues being exposed come out of some schism among a coalition of the people running things? Why did they push it? I will never understand that. That is a most pertinent question. I do not know that. There's something that's happening. Remember one thing, and I tell you this. Once they smell blood, once there is this weird kind of a predatory thing that happens, once they come out of the woodwork, you know this. You see this all the time. It's the most incredible thing. I've seen this. They just jump on it. They love let me give you something. During the, lest you think I'm just completely just unfair in this, during the Clinton administration, I was with a group of people at the time. I remember radio folks and media folks. And I said, why must Bill Clinton be impeached by virtue of the fact that he lied to his wife and everybody else about having an affair with an intern? Look at this one. Pam Cornelia says, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Fanny. Well, she got her wish then. Thank you for that. Think about this one. I was at the time, I kept saying to myself, I said, what does this? I said, your job, you've got to ask the question. Why must Bill Clinton be removed from office? He lied. Why must he be removed from office? Not did he lie. Why is this particular lie able to elevate him to being removed from office? Why? They lie about a lot of stuff. Tell me something that Bill Clinton could do that no private citizen could do. That's kind of what impeachment is. He started a war. He sicked the IRS on people. That's what they were saying about Nixon. Not just lying, but again, it's a political thing. So my point is, you got to ask this question. Not did she do something wrong? Not did she lie? Sure, she lied. Everybody lied. But why? And we needed something to hook because everybody was coming out of the woodwork. There was a name. There was a feller, by the way, an interesting person, and you might not know his name, but it's very interesting. Hang on a minute. His name is, here we go. No, that's not it. Okay, his name is three people: Norman Eisen, Joyce Vance, and Richard Painter. Norm Eisen, this is one of the prolific, very smart, very, very good, one of these Democratic operatives who wrote these very great briefs as far as why she wasn't. And I agree 100%. However, this is a change. As far as, and I told you the other day, remember, I never lie to you. I never lied to you just to, who was it? Somebody from Fox News, nice man, said, it's over for her. I said, no, it's not over just because she lied about this. It may be over now if they pursue this. Aries P says, Steve Sadow's rebuttal was a masterful smackdown. You know what? Thank you for that. It may be a smackdown for Fox News purposes. It may be great for social media purposes. Did it convince a judge? Did it convince a judge? I've got right now the thing that Judge McAfee will go with, and he'll say, I have to do this because I'm the judge. You don't understand something. You see, this changed everything. What do you mean? This changed everything. See, it's a different story now. The reason why it's a different story is because now there's a possibility that she might be threatening him. Do you know, have you ever heard of being ghosted, or all of a sudden, you're dating somebody and you it's been a long time, but you heard about them. Maybe now, and all of a sudden they just drop you. Oh, I know this all the time, just in real life. Have you ever had friends of yours who just all of a sudden, they just don't like you anymore? Like, well, what's going on here? It's like, well, what, it be children? What's going on here? You're not talking to me. I would, if I were Fanny, I would say, I'm telling you right now, I have nothing to do with Mr. Bradley. I don't want him in our office. I am telling you right now, he is persona non grata. I am telling you, and that's different than saying, put it this way. You could have no business with the prosecution. You could have no business. Who can you imagine being a client of Terence Bradley, and you've got a case before Fani Willis? What? Wait a minute, you're Terence Bradley, right? You're going to take my case. You're going to try to negotiate a plea with her office after you bury her. What? AKA radio silent. Oh, yes. Go silent, go deep. So he now, by virtue, unless they get rid of her, he has to move. If he's doing criminal law, this woman's not going to even talk to him. I've had cases before where judges have hated certain lawyers and they put out the word, basically, do not, this is different. Judge McAfee, Your Honor, may it please the court. We're asking you today to disqualify Ms. Willis and the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, not because of any sexual or romantic indiscretion, but over the fact that she has now been targeted by the, well, whatever the authorities, and investigating the possibility of obstruction of justice and witness tampering, because at that time, out of an abundance of caution, for her to call up a witness. Now we're co-defendants. If two criminals, not even criminals, two people, let's say you and I are involved in something, and we're involved in some kind of a business endeavor. We're not doing anything wrong per se, but we're involved in a business endeavor, and all of a sudden we find out that we're getting calls. The cops are looking in. I can tell you as a potential co-defendant, you don't have to tell them anything. I need 900 likes. Come on, Lizzie. Get it. Get it. Now listen to me carefully. Listen to me very, very carefully. That's the angle. That's the angle. And McAfee would say, okay, I'm great. So when two people will say, listen, we have to talk, that's fine. But when the district attorney calls you, it'd be like the judge saying, no, the judge if a judge calls you and says, listen, they're investigating me for something that's really nasty. There's something really nasty. They're investigating. If they come to you, you don't have to say anything. You know that, right? This is a judge. So you're telling me to keep my mouth shut? No, I'm not telling you, but I'm just saying, you don't have, they're after us. Us? See how that works? Sparky says, thought it was a wrong move to go after Bill Clinton at the time. People knew he was elected him twice. Going after him may have caused a payback attitude or cycle for nothing. Absolutely. They were so vicious at that time. They went after Bill. Listen, Bill Clinton, remember Whitewater? What was that about? It was this, he lost money. It was the worst. What was her name? McDougal. And it was the worst. And here's the deal. If you go after him and you hit somebody with something and it's kind of chicken shit to begin with, you've got to make sure that you don't get the impression like, okay, now what are you going to bring? Now what? Okay, what did I do now? Okay, why you don't like Whitewater? You don't like, okay, the intern sex. And by the way, let me just explain something to you. I talked to a guy named, was it Joseph Camarada? I believe it was Paula Jones's lawyer. It's been a long time ago. And I interviewed him one time. Remember when Clinton said, depends what you mean by sex? Depends what is and sex. What do you mean by sex? I didn't have sex with him. They did a deposition at the White House. The famous one that the court did not, Clinton against Jones, or Paula Jones. And they didn't allow the president to postpone it. They gave Clinton, listen carefully, a way out. When you ask somebody a question, make sure it's very, very simple. Did you kill him? Things like that. They asked Bill Clinton something to the effect of, did you have sex? I think they were going to impeach him with the Monica Lewinsky stuff. And they asked him something to the effect of, did you have sex with her? And he was about to answer, and he said, no, wait a minute. Let me define sex for you. And that's when Bill got him. He listened carefully. And either he listened carefully and understood the definition, or he's going to listen carefully and claim he didn't understand it. But he answered the question. And then later on he said, well, I said I didn't have sex with her because you asked me in the context of, and I don't go into detail, but it was, did he do anything to her? And the answer is, well, let's see, you call the play to hide the panatella something to her. Technically speaking, he was right, because some idiot decided, I'm going to define this. So when you get involved in all this stuff, the bottom line is simply this. You've got to go to that judge and you've got to say to him, I want to give you something you can hang your hat on. And something, and when Sadow, Trump's lawyer, gets up there and he does his closing, no, it's like, no, Steve, tone it down. This is Fulton County. No, tone it down. Don't make it sound like the judge just says, they're going to think I'm with Trump now. Tone it down. Tone it down. You know what what would have been even smarter, but nobody would have done this. Nobody. File a motion to disqualify, no oral argument, no viva voce live testimony. No, just you read the brief, Your Honor. Do what you got to do. Okay. Then you can say, well, there it is. Sit down. Get out of here. Let this out of the people's minds. Don't who's that? That's Trump's lawyer. Somebody said he was masterful. No. Sadow, so whatever his name, could have done more to hurt the case by being so grandiloquent and loud and obstreperous, because it might have made people say, aha, this is all about Trump. See, if he had just calmed it down or said, listen, I filed the motion, read it, order it. You don't need me to, I don't need to repeat. You can read, I can read. What am I doing? Telling you what I've just read? That's why oral arguments are a waste of time. Nobody's, these oral arguments, and no. They made their mind up. These things are clear. Did you see the other day in Trump's case regarding the 14th Amendment, Section 3? It was unanimous. Different reasons, but it was unanimous. Ketanji Brown, Sotomayor, Kagan. They said, absolutely. You didn't have to have it. This is in the Constitution. Remember, I told you, read it. You read it. There's no argument. I don't know why anybody, this Colorado Secretary of State should be removed. Say, what do you make this stuff up from? This is our good friend Georgia at the lake. Georgia says, kind of remember, in today's crazy world, all the nuts in the bag aren't salted. Touche. I like that. Thank you very much for your kindness. Now, I don't know what I'd love to do more. I would be so stealth. Now, let me stop you right now. Let me stop you. If this were different, if you had a Jack Smith, if you had a Merrick Garland, if you had a DOJ, if you'd have had this incredible, not corrupt in the classic sense, but this anti-democratic movement, if you had the 65 Project for this, dear God, you would have been just going. I mean, this, how do I say this? Immediately, you would have heard MSDNC, this just in, federal agents are investigating Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis on potential charges for witness tampering and obstruction of justice. Let's go right now live to Fulton County. Dave, what do you think right now? Well, right now we just heard that We don't know whether DA Willis has retained her own lawyers, because in this particular case, they're going after her as an individual. She wouldn't get the attorney general to represent the office. This is her personally. That's how, I've said it a million times. That's how you disqualify it. Not this other stuff. And Bradley is the linchpin. Bradley is so, he is a lousy witness. Anyway, have you had fun today? An hour and 20 minutes with you on the phone, so to speak. Georgia at the lake, thank you. Sparky, thank you for your absolute piquant, or I say piquant, decisive, absolute, full-throated, fascinating, aggressive, powerful thoughts regarding everything. Thank you for that. Lori Cuck, Aries P, Pam Cornelius. Thank you. Sherry 555. I hope you are my new favorite. I love that. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Weird Objects and Antiques. Thank you. Raul Rodriguez. Thank you. NC November Girl, the best live stream ever. That you have no idea how that made my day. And our good friend Christian Janis from India, thank you as well. And our new member, Jerry Prather, thank you, my friend, for being with us and for being a part of our family. This is a fascinating case. And the reason why I love it is because the facts change constantly. The facts really have nothing to do specifically with the facts. And I want to tell you, 939 likes. You have, that means more. And thank you to our den mother. Thank you, Liz Solak, who, of course, is see 940. That means something. I'm just a humble platform. I don't have producers. It's Mrs. L and me. That's it. And I want you, by the way, she has a brand new video going up today on what parents can do. This is probably the most important thing in the world, what parents can do to help specifically in making their kids' internet devices and phones and tablets predator proof. Go to Lynn's Warriors for that. Lynn's Warriors. And one more thing, as I told you, this is the most important thing. And we've got some great. I love our sponsors. I love the people who always help us. But there's one individual, there's one group that is probably the most important of them all. And it is our dear friend. Let's talk about a very serious subject. What am I doing? The wrong one here. My Patriot Supply. What am I doing? I don't want to hit you with that right now. That's a bit much after all you've been through. My Patriot Supply. This is something which I always want to tell people about, which is so critical. My Patriot Supply. This is the idea of having emergency food when it happens. My Patriot Supply right now with a $60 discount on a 4-week emergency food kit. Preparewithlionel.com. I hope to God you never need it. But if you do, just go and just look around. You'll say, the genius of these people. How did they know? How did they put every conceivable aspect, everything about what to do, what to eat, how to prepare for whether it's weather, whether it's, who knows, riots, upheavals, war, pestilence, supply chain breakdowns, who knows? Preparewithlionel.com. This is emergency food, and it's so critical. All right, dear friends, we will see you tonight, this eve. I thank you so much for being a part of us. Have a great and a glorious and a noble time. Thank you for everything. Thank you so much. Hang on. Sparky says, knew a girl in the White House in Billy's first term. She said, whomever he spoke to got the feeling that they were the most important person in the world to him. What a political talent. Sparky, I will tell you that I had the chance. I do not have, and I've said this repeatedly, I do not have personal animus against politicians. I don't hate Hillary Clinton. I don't hate anybody. And I don't love. I'm not a Trump groupie. he's the most important person right now, acting as chemotherapy to stop this cancer. But Mrs. Allen and I met him at a private little soiree at a home one time. And Bill Clinton, when he meets you, let me give you this much. He talks to you like, and just for that, whatever the period of time, 10 seconds, 15, it seems like a long time, but he looks at you right in the eye. And he looks at you like he's your father and he's proud of you. And he's looking at you like he's saying, I'm so proud of you. You got an A. You know what I mean? He does that, and he talks to you and he looks at you and and women are just falling over and they're all just tagging in and they're waiting for him. They're waiting for him just to turn away to move in. But when he's talking to you, and it could be 10 seconds. It may not seem like much, but it's a lot when you've got a whole room. He's incredible. He is incredible. He is the most important. There were some people who were able to do that. When I was a prosecutor, at the time, E.J. Salsinas, who then later became a District Court of Appeals judge, absolute genius, a genius in terms of one-on-one. One-on-one. He was the best. Campaigner, crowd speaker, Trump. Up close, I don't know how he deals. I don't know. He could very well be. But meeting people up close, one-on-one, Bill Clinton, E.J. Salsinas, the greatest. I mean, so you fall in love with these people. But in terms of speaking in public, the best. Absolutely incredible. Donald Trump still does it, but he does that to the core, and he still has done something very, very important. He's elevated himself to rock star status, which is so critical. Can't say that one enough. Rock star status. All right, dear friends, don't forget Mrs. L. Go to Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Oh, I just hit 1,009 likes. I don't think I've ever hit that. And I'm going to cry. Remember, just a humble, it's just me. No producers, no studios. This is it. It's you and me. That's it. And thank you for that. You are immensely, I am touched and I am honored by that. All right, we'll see you tonight. More stuff for the best coverage. Because, by the way, let me just say something one time to you. One more thing. Fanny is great. That's interesting. I appreciate that. And I think you know too. But you must admit, you learn more about other aspects from this. About hearsay, about testimony, about the role of the DA, about the role of investigations, about just prosecution strategy, tactics. It's a great tutorial, and that's important. So don't forget, Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. I want you to go and sign up right now, Lynn's Warriors. And also, follow her on Twitter, the best, or X, at Lynn's Warriors as well. Lynn's, LYNNS, _, Warriors. Okay? All right, my friends. 1 hour and 29 minutes. This is great. Last night I was out and about. I came back and just ran to do this. It's like, this is just a great story. Again, not so much because of the facts, but the fallout and the ramifications. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight, this eve, 7 p.m. Don't forget, all members, any kind of videos that come up, you get them early. Have a great and glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And remember, as we always say, what is it? That's right. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. That.